This is His Lordship in the building. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, mic check. What's upper? Long time no see. My old folks in the building, first in the room, besides the lurkers. What's cracking? I hope our mutual friend is watching. I hope they're watching from the crow's nest. You know what I'm saying? I saw you getting it in over there in the LJ chat room. You was over there getting it in. You brought your own cardboard, was breakdancing right in the front yard. That's right. First in the building. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I done heard enough. How many times can a person say, I'm leaving YouTube? I'm leaving YouTube and I'm going somewhere where nobody can find me. I'm going off to a small little island, and it's foggy all the time. Sometimes the boats can't find the island, and I know about it, but you don't. And I got my tickets and my passport, and I'm going, and only a few of my friends can come visit. Oh, definitely. We dealing with the fiddler on the roof. You know what I'm saying? We are dealing with the one that flew over the cuckoo's nest indeed. But you know, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? If you know, some people don't like to be corrected, and people like to be wrong all the time. They don't mind being embarrassed and embarrass themselves. Like I try to help people from embarrassing themselves. If I see somebody with toilet paper stuck on the bottom of their shoe, I go, hey, there's toilet paper stuck at the bottom of your shoe. Hey, there's something hanging out of your pocket. Hey, there's something on your face. You might want to wipe that right there. But some people can't appreciate those kind of warnings or updates, or, you know, they tell you to mind your business. I like having a piece of spaghetti on my shirt. I like having a little ketchup on my cheek. Yeah, mind your own goddamn business. I don't tuck my shirt in. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame you. After you only can tolerate so much BS. It's like every time that person go live, it's like a Saturday Night Live skit. Like, this is Debbie Downer. Like, it's the real life Debbie Downer in real life, or Debbie Dumber. And like, how do you just say one? How can you be wrong so often? Like, every other sentence you say, and it leads into another wrong sentence and another misstatement. And then what makes it worse is when someone claimed to be a teacher or teaching things, and when they try to teach you something, they sound like they're learning at the same time with you. You see what I'm saying? Like, everything I know, I can reference from my brain. Like, I don't have to read it along with you to teach you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're teaching yourself and me at the same time on something that neither one of us know about. And you can't teach something that you don't know about. And just because you can read it, and I see the way people stumble. I see the way that person stumbles when they read. If you can barely read, I know damn well you can't comprehend. And then somebody who cannot read and comprehend say they're going to write a book. That's amazing. You talking about Looney? Oh, I know who you're talking about, right? We talking about the same person, right? Yeah, I went through 1 billion accounts myself, but hey, that's how you get their subs up. See, she thought her subs were up because she had fans. No, it was all those people that you blocked. They just came with different accounts and subs so they'll know when you go live. But if you blocked about 50, 100 people, then you should expect a 50 or 100 thumbs down every time you go live. And and if you were so popular, if you really have fans, they must be illiterate too, because they don't leave comments. It's amazing. But I know that they're out there in the background listening. They're out there in the background listening and waiting, acting like somebody's coming for them. But I just wanted to get on live and say, hey, thank you for going off of YouTube or going into hiding or just being on IG and keeping that stuff away from my kid or other people's kids. I mean, they might believe that embassies are only in their own country, and they might believe that only countries and militaries have embassies. They might not believe that only 2 countries don't have an embassy, and one of them is our enemy, of course. And you don't have to have a military force to have an embassy, because there's plenty of countries that don't have a military. Yeah, we told her. We told her when there was like 10 people in her chat what was about to happen. Exactly. That's why I can sleep at night. That's why I don't feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Because she was warned from day one, but didn't listen. Also, for a person who never donated to anybody else, she never donated to any other platform. She never donated to any causes. She didn't, as much as she offered to adopt, she wanted to be the foster mother of Velvet's baby. But she didn't contribute no money on getting her and her baby out of South America. I have the video where she said she would adopt Velvet's baby. I have the video where she said that she's not a good wife and she's a terrible lover, that she could be a better lover than her. Then I have the video of her saying that she would give the cult leader better fellatio than any of his wives. I can go on and on and on. You think we're gonna miss her with the type of BS that she puts on? The whole reason why Diet, Madiva, Sheba, and all those people is beefing with each other is because of LJ. She opened up Pandora's rock. She opened up Pandora's rock. You know, Pandora had a crack rock, but yeah, she opened up Pandora's rock, and her life is so ironic that the name Pandora's box is very fitting. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Lampkin, Monica? What's up with it? Yeah, all those lies. We were getting paid. I'm going against Vic. I took Vic's fans, and she kept trying to turn people against each other, and she act like people was really watching her to learn about Nature Boy. They were just watching her to see her act a fool. She was like a minstrel show, like you know how the clown come out and you waiting for the trapeze artist to set up so the clown is clowning down at the bottom of the ring. What's up, God Days? In the building. I'm on my Mellow Man thing tonight. You getting the mellow lordship voice tonight, because I'm broadcasting live from the studio, and I haven't been live in a few days because I've been producing other channels' intros. Yes, a lot of channels want professional intros, and so I've been in the studio working on that. So now that we got a couple of people here, and Ayana Sanjay is in the building, let's get this show started.
I'm the magnificent.
Tell them what your name is.
I'm the magnificent.
Yo, man, I don't think they heard you. Why don't you tell them what your name is?
Yeah, this is the Negro astronaut in the building, his lordship. You know what I'm saying? Do intergalactic and interstellar travel from time to time. But today, we're going to analyze what we have heard from the bonnet, the almighty, all-knowing, all-seeing bonnet, the oracle, the prophet, the coach, the teacher, the Kama Sutra expert, the marriage expert, the relationship expert, computer expert. I might have left a few things out. You know what I'm saying? I might have left a few things out. Barbie doll in the building. Long time no see. I ain't seen you since last year. Tonia Michelle, I think. Peace Infections. And yeah. I can look intimidating when I want to. I think that's a pretty intimidating look right there. Or at least it's intense. Got my space helmet on. Well, you know, we don't want to say the name all the time. It can, because it's promotions. You know, when you mention her name, like she puts Nature Boy name in every title, and that blew him up, and it blew her up, because nobody knew who the hell he was. You know, because after that BBC thing, you know, people, it started to fade off. You know, like my friend was in Friday After Next, and she's still trying to ride off of that fame after all these years, you know. But yeah, she was the girl next door that Ice Cube was, you know, kind of liking. I went to high school with her. She's still riding off of that fame, you know, picture after picture on Instagram, and yeah, you know. But so, you know, Nature Boy he was fading out after the BBC thing. You know, it blew him up, but then it started to taper. And then here come LJ, Nature Boy, Nature Boy, Nature Boy, and she couldn't contradict them. She don't know what they believe in. She think they believe in what she believe in. She think that they got the same app she got. You know what I'm saying? You know, how you gonna take down a cult and you don't even know what they believe in? Yeah. You're right, Barbie doll. It's rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Oh, thank you, Cherie baby. Thank you for the compliment. That's my real picture. It's just that I got on a spaceship mask, because when I do my intergalactic travel, I like to practice safety first. But thank you for the compliment. I'm an OG now. I've reached OG status, so yeah, I need all the compliments I can get now. But yeah, you was giving her that work, Cherie, baby. You was putting it in. You was like, I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? You ain't missed a beat. You ain't rusty either. That's the old, that's how we used to get down in the Army back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you, Ayana. And she always had a new group on her channel. Her mods would disappear and rotate out. Yeah, you know what was funny? Her mods would graduate to someone more fitting or more intelligent. You know, these are people who would have never, ever been a mod anywhere else on YouTube. But because they was a mod in her chat room, they was able to bubble off of that and be a mod for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? and everybody bubbled off of Nature Boy the same way everybody came up off of OJ. You know what I'm saying? I would like to say for the record, F. Marsha Clark. There you go. F. Marsha Clark. I'm gonna do some research over her and do a little show on Marsha Clark from the OJ case. I just watched the first 48. I don't know if that's her show or she does a show all the time or they pick different prosecutors, but she looked like a lizard. She looked like that. There used to be a movie called V, and it was these aliens that looked like humans, but they had some kind of device. They were lizard, but they had some kind of device to make themselves look human when you look at their face. But she was going after this millionaire. He bought a $13 million mansion, and his wife died. It just aired like on the first. His wife had died, and so he replaced her with some kind of mail order bride. I guess they wasn't specific, but I could tell she had to be like a mail order bride. And his son was injured at the house when she was there. He actually died, but he was so mad that he killed her before he knew that the son was going to recover or not, which he kind of knew. But I don't know if he killed her or I'm thinking that he killed her, but Marsha Clark was the one asking the questions. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. Let me look at the chat. I bet she don't make it to that job interview that promethazine chow is Captain Save-A-Ho. Hey, what did it say? I did get a few in before I got blocked. Yes, you did. You got in. You connected to the job before you got blocked. Oh wow, I need to watch that. Yeah, let me look on my timeline and see if I can see it on my YouTube timeline. You really got to see this because they said that this lady tied herself up in a special knot that only people who sail on boats, who ride ships, would know. And she's, come on, man. She tied her own hands behind her back and her legs, and then she hopped to the edge of the balcony and hung herself, and she tied a rope to the bed. And then he claimed that I cut her down with a knife, but yet his fingerprints ain't on the knife. And yeah, it's just crazy. Look, this is what really happened. The guy, he's the head of a pharmaceutical company. He's worth so much money. He has a $13 million mansion. She committed suicide in a guest house, and he claimed that it was a mercy killing because it was a mercy suicide because she felt bad about hurting his son, because he was on the scooter and went over the balcony inside the house, and he grabbed a chandelier to break his fall, and he pretty much was like on life support in a forced coma. But back to the bonnet. But I'm checking my timeline. Oh, it's called, let me see. It's one of those first 48s, and oh yes, Marsha Clark investigation. It was an A&E show. Full episode is on YouTube, and yeah, maybe I'll just drop the link in the chat. I think I could do that, but it don't even let you copy. It don't even let you do a link. That's crazy. It don't let you copy a link. So that's federal right there. So yeah, y'all gonna have to go straight to that. And Marsha Clark looks hideous. I don't know what Christopher Darden. I don't know how he raised the eyebrow at that, but okay, here we go. I do see the share now, and I can't see the chat room right now. And of course, she had to make a jab at OJ. What the OJ got to do with this murder? She trying to show another rich man that may have got away with murder or something? No, this was not the same as the OJ case. This looks like the husband did it, but he paid off the sheriff department. That's what he did, because the sheriff department is easier to pay off than the police department. And if you don't believe me, ask Death Row, ask Compton. Okay, the head of the crime, the gang division, he retired, and him and his son is in jail right now. All right, and the mayor at the time when Death Row was popping, he got in on 8 votes. Compton was so ghetto, nobody even voted for mayor. So anyway, you got to see this though, and like I said, I can't see the chat room right now, but I will in a minute. So yeah, get your screenshots for the feds, okay? Okay, so that's the link for that show, all right? Prometheus and the Building. And Observer Stuff in the Building. You say you haven't watched much LJ? Okay, cool. I told ZX I would be cool if he stopped attacking people. He didn't, so I went at him. Okie dokie. Oh man, Marsha Clark, man. Don't let me get in. Don't let me mess with her right now. So yeah, there you go. That's my picture that you can send to the authorities. But I will be sending some pictures to the authorities myself. I have a few pictures I want to send to the authorities. Look, this picture right here is a church, and inside that church is a bunch of, all those pictures are great people, mostly African American, but all those pictures on the wall are people who have achieved things in sports and life and politics and education and invention and all of that stuff. And these kids play basketball there. They have a basketball league, and when they play basketball, they have all these positive pictures around them, all these positive images of people of color, especially African Americans. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that special? So, where was we? We had a sidebar. They say they caught a screenshot of Black Cherubim. Well, see, Black Cherubim used to say the most vulgar, grotesque things in the chat room. You know, some people say that is suicide. It might be suicide, but I always thought of Black Cherubim as some really like like a square, like some square from the suburbs that's got to get their dark side off their chest. I've seen Black Cherubim in some weird chat rooms too. Like I don't even want to say, because then you'd be like, well, what the hell are you doing there? No, I wasn't there. I just pop in and out of different chat rooms and went, oh, Black Cherubim. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? But if you block 59,000 people, you're gonna have drama for the rest of your YouTube career, especially when you block people when someone was trying to correct you. Like somebody was trying to correct you, like you made a very terrible, misleading statement that really makes you look bad, and somebody trying to save you and go, you really meant, like you mean, and she's like, I know what the F I said. She said it. She said she should be able to say what she want and on her own channel at any time and anything she wants. So she's proud of her ignorance, and she wants to teach misinformation, and she have a right to do that. So she's fighting for her right to be ignorant, and I can respect that. Let her live. If she want to go in some little private room with only 6-7 people and talk about how the earth is square, let her do it. You said you like to hear her out first, but when you told her that they have U.S. embassies everywhere, she flipped out. Yeah, see, people get blocked on simple stuff. I was like, who's your favorite author? Name one book that you have. Name one book. Like if you into Kama Sutra, what's your favorite chapter? You see what I'm saying? She just said that some twins was in the book of Kama Sutra, and she's against Nature Boy, but she's not against Kama Sutra. That's an oxymoron. Nature Boy lives a Kama Sutra lifestyle. Everything about Nature Boy's code is in the book of Kama Sutra. You see what I'm saying? Kama Sutra is not a sex book. It only has one chapter dedicated to sex. That's chapter 2. The book has 7 chapters, and it has no pictures. But what she would do is, Kama Sutra has pictures, dumbass. You stupid. And then she'll go on Google and find a website with pictures, and it says Kama Sutra, and then she'll look at the camera and go, see, I told you Kama Sutra has pictures, so there, and click off. That's not proof. I have the book. Before there was a book, there were Sanskrits. You definitely couldn't put pictures on Sanskrits. So how the hell did Kama Sutra get pictures? It's because the man put pictures to it. The perverted Asianologists in England added pictures. It has nothing to do with India or the Indian culture. There was no Indian, East Asian man or female that put pictures to Kama Sutra. There's only one chapter dedicated to sex, and Kama Sutra is pro-polygamy, pro-date rape, pro-drug, slipping your girl a Mickey, it rides the fence of pedophilia, it's pro-abuse, scratching, and using attachments to enhance your bedroom abilities. Everything that I see Carbonation doing publicly, I can relate to Kama Sutra. But she's against Carbonation but pro Kama Sutra. That's ass backwards. This is why you always have problems, because you talk about things you do not know. Yeah, but I remember. I'm stopping to read the chat a little bit, but yeah, I tried to rock with people, and then I listen. See, that's my problem. My problem is I listen too closely, and then when I hear something strange, I go, You know what I'm saying? When you make generalizations about the whole continent of Africa, you know how many millions and millions of people is on that continent? You know how many countries are on that continent? And then you just made a broad not even a broad stroke, a narrow stroke about them. You say that the Mexican embassy cannot be in the United States because New Mexico is in the United States. You said the Mexican embassy cannot be in New Mexico because New Mexico is in the United States. And then you said New Mexico is like the 50th state. I ain't been to school in a long time, but New Mexico is the 48th state. And we don't even want to talk about the Louisiana Purchase, Pearl Harbor, Alaska can't vote and Hawaii can't vote, and Hawaii was a country, and Alaska, oh my God, and the Virgin Islands. I guess she never heard of the British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. I guess she looked at the flag of Puerto Rico and thought it was a state because of the flag. But if you look at Liberia's flag, it looks similar to the United States flag also. And even though Liberia wasn't colonized, American slaves or former slaves or current slaves have been brought there to work there, and they had a huge influence on the population there. That's why today in Liberia, you can spend American dollars without having to transfer it, and the national language is English. And that's why when the owner of BET sold BET in 1993 and split the money with his wife, he bought a luxury hotel in Liberia, probably around 1994. But you don't see a bunch of African Americans hopping on planes to go and visit. But one big fan of Liberia I knew, well, I don't know him personally, but James Amos, who played the father of Good Times, Liberia was his second home. Yeah, 52 states, but we're the dumbass, we're stupid, and we're bullying and we're calling names. We don't call her names. We don't call her fat and ugly and all that stuff. She does. We just say it's misinformation. You're wrong about this, wrong about that. And unfortunately, every other sentence is either wrong or offensive to someone. I repeat, every other sentence that come out of her mouth is either wrong or it's offensive to someone or somebody. And then you wonder why you have issues. Yeah, we have the American Samoan Islands. We have the American and British Virgin Islands. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of Americas. That's why we have we have the, what's the name? I mean, does she know we have the UN? What is the UN for? You know what I'm saying? Who was the former head of the UN that just passed away not too long ago? Who had one of the biggest funerals I ever seen? Okay. The UN had a black leader before America did. look, there's no reason to do personal attacks. I mean, certain things are obvious. You don't even have to say it. You know what I'm saying? Um, there's too much intellectual collateral to debate than to do something so adolescent as attack someone's physical appearance or their life situation. But when you see that someone is unwilling to learn, and somebody's unwilling to stand corrected and unwilling to concede to a fact, I make an extra effort to concede to a fact, or to say touche, or you may have a point. And I fear to dwell off into subject matters that I'm not well informed in, but I can go off on diatribes for long periods of time without looking at a piece of paper or without searching on Google. And she was trying to look smart on her little secret her little secret IG, and she was trying to name great black women and stuff, and you can see that she was looking at another device reading off a list. And that's a shame. Like, how do you get an AA degree and also that other little certificate, and you still don't know jack about jack? Like, how did you know what I'm saying? You call yourself a travel agent, but you don't know where the tropics is. You don't know where the equator is. You don't know where Central America is. But what's wrong with pointing that out? You're pointing out somebody else's flaws. You're calling other people dummies and calling the feds on them and calling the authorities and working with people that's working with the press. She's a fed. She's working with what's his name? The Undertaker, the Reaper. Okay, the Reaper ain't nothing but a journalist who also moonlights as a mercenary. The Reaper sends these fake articles to these countries when Nature Boy is there, and he gets him in trouble. They're working together. The only reason the Reaper works with her is because nobody else would work with the Reaper, because when he first stepped on the scene, he tried to start a GoFundMe, and nobody knew him from Adam. You know what I'm saying? And all this time, she thought she was special because she was working with the Reaper, and also that she was communicating with world news. But she was communicating with people that other people had issues with and didn't give a damn about. But she thought she was on top. And then when these other people let her into their little circle, because she's like that kid in the movie Fresh. In the movie Fresh, they were coming close to finding out that this kid was hustling. So he got one of his friends who talked too much. He put him on, and he let his friend start hustling. So his friend started flashing cash and bragging about he in the game now, and so it took the attention off of him. Unfortunately, his friend got killed. But that's her. They took her under a wing because she just talked too damn much about nothing. And then when they realized that she was a trip, they kicked her out the group. This happened 2 or 3 times. She thought she was special because she was in some Facebook group or some Google chat, but they were just patronizing you, just like the police, just like the secretary at the Fed's office. Everybody in your life just patronizes you. That's why all your letters and emails now just go straight to spam. Y'all fingers should be tired, man. Y'all fingers is just going off. I can't. My eyeballs are tired. looking at, but I love this participation though. This is why I like doing this, because of the when I do lives, there's participation in the chat room, and when I do videos, there's participation in the comments, and so this keeps me motivated. But it says her observer says her family needs to get her, but the thing is, she can turn it on and off, right? I saw that when the police showed up the first time. Yeah, but when the police showed up the first time, her microphone picked up the audio and we can hear what the police was saying. And then when she came back and tried to tell us something else, that's when I knew that, I mean, I knew already, but that was further, information on that person being out there. So let me see here. Hey, Marie G. Hey, Ferris in the building. She claims she's connected but can't pay her bills. Exactly. Yet she's begging strangers. Yeah, and she calls strangers her friends. You know what I'm saying? You don't know these people. You don't know if they male or female. You don't know these people. You don't know if they male or female. You do not know who's who. And wait a minute. In case y'all don't see that LJ federal logo, I'm gonna blow that up a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, let me see on the HISLO on the O. That's the LJ right there, and that's a federal logo. Yeah, I'm gonna blow that up just a little bit. And let me see. Yeah, cause she's smart. We can't fool her. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Right. So let me put that over in the corner right there. There we go. She was going off tonight. Yeah, I hate that the threats that she gives out of going to the FBI and like bow down to her or else. Yeah, she did that to the family too, and she can't do anything to anyone. Exactly. She gave ultimatums to, look, by February, I'm telling you now, before Black History Month is over, she will be detained for questioning. It's only because she live in a little small hick town is why she hasn't been detained yet. But if she was living where I'm living, they would have took her in for questioning. All right. She told people, it's a good thing they don't listen to her, but she told the families, if you don't contact me right now, your children are going to die. I have that video. I have every video that can make her look like a stalker. You think stalkers know when they're stalkers? Stalkers don't know when they're stalking. You have to tell them, and then if they don't believe you, that's when, or if they know that they're stalking and they try to deny it, that's when they need to be dealt with. But trust me, one day you're gonna stalk someone, and you're gonna go, oh my God, I am stalking this person. Let me stop. See, a sane person would say, let me stop. Okay? One time I was on the set of Poetic Justice, and I was watching a film because I saw Janet Jackson. I saw Tupac, but Tupac, he was from the hood, so he was from the area, so it wasn't no big deal seeing him. But Janet, we talking about Penny from Good Times. We talking about Janet from Fame. We talking about Miss Jackson, If You Nasty. Um, and I always wondered if Janet, had backs and stuff. And so Janet had on jeans, and it was that last scene of the movie when they were standing behind the postal truck in the parking lot. I just so happened to have a room that night at that hotel, and when I came home from the club, I saw Janet acting with Tupac. So I stood on the staircase, and lo and behold, 4 hours had passed, and I was so fresh. They didn't know if I was with the movie company or what. They didn't know what. So that shit always happened to me. It take people forever to kick. I'm always places I ain't supposed to be, and then when they realize that I'm not supposed to be there, then they get rid of me. So they say, "Hey, you got to move." And then I said to myself, "Wait a minute, I've been here for hella long, staring at Janet." And that's when she was married to that Renee guy, and he was like a butler. He was like a yes man. So anyway, I go to the room, I stick my head out the curtains, and I wrap the curtains around my neck, and now I'm looking from the window. And then I said, you know what? Hold up, I'm acting like a stalker. I'm stalking right now. Let me stop. And so I went to bed, see? But this person, on the other hand, LJ, stalked and harassed this family and these people who wasn't bothering her for over 9 months. And we got and then she tried to erase the evidence of her stalking, but we got all the videos. And then she wants to claim victim. She ain't never donated to anybody's channel or offered anybody's money. She begged people not to give Elena money or anybody money for the children. The children can't control how they were born and how they were brought to this world. LJ specifically said, do not give the baby no money. But now that she has a situation because of her own negligence, she violated her own privacy and family members and friends and ex-boyfriends. She did this. Now she wants compensation. She wants help for something she did to herself. Anybody who does that or roll with that or agree with that is naive and very misinformed and completely stupid. Let me look at the chat for a second. Hey, don't answer that question. Don't incriminate yourself, because she is watching the chat and screenshotting the chat. And if she thinks you in her little secret private IG, she will kick you out. And yes, Observer, I think I know what you're talking about. I will have a call in soon, because that's the only thing missing. I think the show is going along well and doing pretty good as like a social group and chatting and everybody's getting along. The only thing missing is the call in, but that's why I created His Lordship 2020 IG, so people can either call in on the IG or call in on the Hangout. So, but that's a good idea. We're going to get to that. And welcome anybody that's new to this channel and anybody that's lurking in the back. Anybody that's standing in the shadows of the room, that's okay too. I respect you too. You can always listen. You don't always have to participate and things like that, because not only this is a room to talk, it's also a room to vibe in. So you can say, well, I'm just gonna vibe. I don't really feel like talking. And then some people, want to talk and don't vibe, but it's all good, Rinse and repeat, and something's going to happen. Of course, something may happen. If things happen all the time, I'm not going to say, but I know something is coming on. These are like childish games, and I know something, but I'm not going to tell. And then when it happens, I told you something was going to happen. I just couldn't say it. Now it happened. I can talk about it. That sounds like a 10-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I haven't went live in hell long. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's been a minute. But it's been so much going on. These beasts have been escalating. Yeah, she's not gonna kill herself. Because I don't know why, but she ain't. People don't talk about it; they do it, and then you hear about it. Yeah, that and also split personalities. The girl that was on my last album, she had 5 personalities. I know how people with split personalities are, and then she'll do something and say, "Oh, I was just trying to set you up." That's another word for "I was just lying." Sorry. And you gullible. When you say somebody gullible or believe anything. But everything that person says can be applied to that person. That's that. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to commit suicide, because trust me, if I woke up tomorrow and every day my life was like the Truman story, like my life was full of irony and ironic situations, that would drive me nuts. I got all kind of receipts. You know what I'm saying? That I could bust out. Let me look at my receipt book. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what let's listen to some of her trying to be sincere. Let's listen to this. Hold on. Let me see here. Breaking into the receipt book because we're in the newsroom now. I don't know if you noticed, we're in the radio newsroom right now. So let's see what we got here in the newsroom. All right.
Grown adults, we already kicked one person out. Trust and believe it will come to light. And when we find whoever the mole is, trust and believe we will light their asses up. But what is that you have people that were in the squad that truly care for you. And for you to say, I know some stuff that people are doing dirty against you guys, but I'm not going to tell you. Like, we would never, regardless of the fact, if Vic said, like yesterday, when Vic was saying those jokes, when Vic was doing that thing, you could go into his YouTube. And you know what I said? I said, stop, Vic. That's not funny. See, when you start talking about suicide, regardless of the fact, you have a heart, you have 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 hands. You are blessed. And it hurted my soul, and it hurted a lot of people's soul to see you go through that and don't realize how blessed you are. But what bothered me the most is that here we are as women, strong minority women, and you took the time to say dirty bitches. That right there was the most, that was so, I would never let nobody disrespect you like that. Not a man. And for you to say that, that really hurted me. That really pissed, well, it didn't hurt me, it pissed me off. I'm gonna keep it 100.
And my thing, from my defense, my thing is, I have been attacked so much. And yesterday was a breaking point for me.
Always an excuse. I don't want to hear that excuse. That's the same old rinse and repeat excuse. You know what I'm saying? And for more to that video, there will be a video posted. I'm not going to play all the audio, but one of my next troll videos, I guess, which will probably be the last one for now, because I'm going to have to dig into the archives to find all the illegal stuff that the stuff that could be used in civil court for defamation of character and harassment and stalking. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, there'll be more to that though. Patty Paradox in the building. What a surprise. I saw Patty Paradox in the chat room on the Pandora's IG. That was hella funny. And yeah, it was hilarious. But yeah, she tried to copy Fundi's style. She tried to cry like Fundi and all that, and she didn't get none of that sympathy. She tried to pull a Jazzy. She's trying everyone's technique. She tried to pull a Vic. She tried to pull what's the other one? Everybody. She tried to act like Crystal Healy. Look, all you gotta do is look at her. You know how when you look them up and they have associated channels, like you can click video, playlist, and then it says channels. You can see all the channels she's trying to copy. Yeah, Frida Thompson in the building. I'm up late, and this is my up late voice. We're gonna switch modes again. A long time ago, me and Pops made a little track called Love and Kindness, and that's what we need right now in these YouTube streets. We don't have enough love and kindness, so I'm gonna switch modes so that track can play in the background. This is the Lordship After Hour, and we're just talking about LJ, and we're talking about a few other things that you know what I'm saying, that work our nerves right at this moment. But she just went off alive and said that she's leaving again and again and again and again and again. How many times you gonna leave? Just leave. Why you gotta make an announcement? If you just leave, people go, hey, you know what? You know who we haven't seen in a long time? But we can't say that because you go live every single day. Still, even after you said you're leaving. Now, Patty, don't put two and two together, because then you're going to get me in trouble. Yes, I was blocked from her last page. I was blocked from the Pandora's box thingy. But let's leave it right there. Let's just pin that right there and don't worry about the rest. All right? Well, I mean, Frida. I think Frida was, I don't know if Frida was talking about me, but I was blocked too. Yeah, Barbie doll, look. The thing is, when you have to make a statement after the fact, that after the fact statement is weaker than anything you would say before the fact. So me personally, I don't have no respect for any statements after the fact. If you didn't say it before or during, it has no credibility. Yes, she did lie. Even though in the last video I showed her, I showed the document that she posted, but you have no way of knowing is what date it's for and all of that stuff. You have to see the address, you have to see the date and all that, and then you would be, of course, doxing yourself again. So it's a catch-22. But one does have a Uber Drive app, and one does have a car that could be used for Uber, and she told herself again the only reason she don't drive Uber anymore is because her extended warranty is up, which I totally understand, because I remember I got an engine replacement and I wasn't doing any gigs after that myself. I had a foreign car, $9,000. I still got the car, but it had a $9,000 engine replacement, and I wasn't taking no more risks after that because my extended warranty was up too. So I can relate to that part. But if you read between the lines like she does, that meant that she was driving Uber, and people have a screenshot of her phone because she's always showing her own screen, and you see the Uber Drive app on the screen. Lordship After Hours. Lordship get blocked all the time, but the universe allowed me to manifest myself right back into the room. You see what I'm saying? That's what the universe provided for me. You see what I'm saying? But I'm done. You know, anything else now would be promotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got plenty of material to move on to. You know, we're going to go into small films, shorts, interviews. I got a guy set up for tomorrow. I'm going to interview him about the history of his church and how they helped his church help slaves to freedom, and when people were moving to Northern California, even though they had money and they were famous, there were still certain neighborhoods they couldn't buy a house. And I'm doing that interview hopefully tomorrow if he comes around. He's a very older gentleman, but he knows all about this city. And then I'm going to an exhibit called The Soul of a Nation at a museum here, and the exhibit is here until March, and I'm going to take lots of pictures and shoot videos, clips, and I'm going to talk about that exhibit right here. So we don't have to dwell on the bonnet. We just having fun with the bonnet. The bonnet was never a main factor because I didn't use the bonnet's name all the time like she used Nature Boy's name. But at the same time, if she can use Nature Boy name, we can use her name. But she's nothing without him. But me, on the other hand, I've already proven that it's much more to meet the eye than to step on the bonnet. You know what I'm saying? Look, if y'all want to see some real drama, wait till I get 500 more subs. When I get 500 more subs, it's gonna be like The Purge. They're gonna come for me. Watch, and it's gonna be really fun. Then it's gonna get really fun. You know what I'm saying? Look, how you gonna see a GoFundMe and it says Ashe World is the caretaker of the GoFundMe, Ashe World, spelled WURLD, and not think that was a troll account, and it said based out of New York. Come on, man, you can't be that slow. You know what I'm saying? You got people patronizing you, pretending to be your friend. That would drive me nuts too, though. I do have to, I must say that some people are going too far. Like, they just, come on. We know, like, before we had doubt, but we actually know that something is wrong. Okay? Something is wrong. Let's fall back. Okay? Donna Harris in the building. Wow, my OGs, all my OGs up in here, you know what I'm saying? And shout out, if the bonnet, if LJ is listening and watching in the background and mumbling and whispering cuss words to herself, and hitting the flag button, shout out to her too, because if she shows up I would actually give her a wrench because I'm not petty. We don't block people here. I'm not petty, and just for her own protection, I would put a little blue jacket on her. You know what I'm saying? And then she had the freedom to say anything she want. And if she think I'm wrong about something, I will. If she's right, I'll say, hey, you may have a point. I concede to that fact. I'm not going to say no bullshit like, well, we both right. We saying the same thing, but we just saying it differently. What kind of BS is that? We both right. We saying the same things, but we saying it differently. Oh my God. There's right and there's wrong. There is gray areas. There's between black and white, but there's right and wrong. All right. Well, everything that she do, she think that it's some bright idea. People always been watching other people's channels and don't say nothing. If you ain't got something to say, don't say nothing at all. And if you're gonna say something that's inaccurate, you might want to say, hey, I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? There was something that I said that was, I knew the answer and I knew what I wanted to say, but it came out wrong, and then the show was over and I couldn't say, hey, I meant this or I meant that. These things happen all the time. Ain't nobody perfect. But when somebody tell you there is not 52 states. You know what I'm saying? If somebody say only in District of Columbia they can't vote for the president, if somebody tell you Alaska and Hawaii can vote, if somebody says Alaska been a state for a very long time, longer than 10 years, you cannot argue with these people because none of these people had to go to Google to tell you that answer. They already knew it because they have a certain level of intelligence. Yeah, well, how many times, if people can't understand what you're saying, that means that you are not articulate or you're not articulating yourself well enough. You see what I'm saying? You must have a rhythm to your speech. You must think about what you're going to say. She throws that ass in a circle before she even know what she's going to say. And then she tries to buy time while she's trying to think of an answer. So whenever she's talking about something she doesn't know and she get caught in the corner, she'll say, because of the fact of the matter is, or you best believe. And now we know where she get that best believe statement from, because that lady that jumped on her, she the one that used that phrase, you best believe. Matter of fact, I think I got a second clip of that person talking to her. Hold on, let me see something here. Let me see. Let me go to my evidence. I don't like to use the word receipt, but check this out.
And like I said, my thing for me is I just feel like that we as women got to do better when we deal with confronting each other. We have to be able to, like what we just did, have a conversation. Even though I get at the time we're in our feelings because we are women, and as women we are in our feelings, but I think at times some people's hearts are in the right place. It's just for some people have very strong personalities, and so when you're coming as someone that kind of like is a little bit more timid, And you gotta understand. See, that's the thing I had to learn. Even for me, sometimes I have to sometimes sit back and just let them talk, because sometimes that way you'll understand where they're coming from. And some people want you to say certain things right then. Some people don't work like that. Some people are more so, they want to tell you the whole scenario, so you're getting the whole picture of what is going on before they speak, because that way you're knowing where they're coming from, because they're not, that way you won't think they're lying, because they're pretty much telling you, this is where I'm coming from this perspective, and this is where I'm coming from. So for me, it's about me. When I speak, it's more or less from a bigger picture, because not everybody thinks the same.
Well, that was BS. If people can sense BS from a mile away, so they don't have to listen. One thing doesn't have anything to do with another thing. Just because if you had a nephew with epilepsy, it doesn't make you an expert on epilepsy. If you had a ex-girlfriend who was in a cult, it doesn't make you an expert on cult. If you had a ex-lover that watched someone online, and or if something happened to you and you didn't put them in jail, that has nothing to do with some co-leader that doesn't live in the same country as you. So, nobody got time, nobody got the patience to let you come with this story that we supposed to believe, which have no relevancy, and then we're supposed to say, oh, okay, I see why you stalking this person, because you're trying to not let the same mistake happen twice. But you forgot one thing. You live in the cult capital of the United States. You live in a state where there's more cults than any other state in the United States. Not one mention of those cults, and you should be a cult expert if that's the case. Then you live in a very dangerous city that's like a miniature Chi-town, and that's why they call it Vietnam, because it's no different than Chirac. And they make some cool trap music. So, but I'm just saying, 1 out of 25 people are at risk for property theft or damage, and they rank number 32 in education. So it's just very ironic that she chose these little stories about her being raped or her boyfriend following Nature Boy. All of that is BS, because those are after stories, those are afterthoughts, and it has no relevancy. Think of an answer. So Evelyn Underwood in the building. Hello. How are you and the family doing? We're doing fine, Evelyn. Welcome to the show. It's all good. Good to see you. Let's see. I am King Monica in the building. And thanks for telling them to hit that like button. Yeah, like anybody can do that. Anybody can make up their narratives. That's what I mean by after the fact. I just don't believe in after the fact stories, after the fact statements. Just like she said, just like one person said, or that person said. But first of all, there's always a friend or boyfriend or moms or somebody. There's always a third person that said something, and then it was relative. But you can't find one person that'll co-sign anything that you said. And you think because we don't have access to these people that we'll never know the truth. Like if she says, well, the Fed said, or the police said, or my friend said, you see what I'm saying? So when you make statements without a cosigner, without somebody to back it up, there's no video supporting her in her lies. There's no comments after the videos. The conversation in the chat rooms is on a different subject than what she's talking about. Most of the time when she go live, she's talking to herself. And I find that spooky. You know what I'm saying? I find that very spooky. Let's see here. I think that she contradicts herself on purpose. And that way she can say that she said whatever the truth may be. And she never ever produces receipts. Even when she says this is a receipt, it's really not a receipt. And what's really funny is that 9 times out of 10, whenever she tries to prove something, it shows that she's wrong, and then she tries to hide the fact that she was wrong. Just like when she was looking up embassies and looking up the word detained versus arrested. Like, don't get mad at me because we pay attention. Why do people get mad when you look, let me tell you something. People correct my grammar all the time. They correct my phrases sometimes. But do I pop an attitude? No, I learned something at that moment. I go, oh, okay, because I don't want to look like an idiot around somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of late, y'all. And I don't want to end up sleeping on the couch. And I want to I like leaving at a high point. I don't want to wait till I start yawning and passing out. You know how your girl be like leaning back and looking half dead? I don't want to get to that point. I want to end the show while I'm still hyped and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I don't want to. I know when to leave. I don't have to wait till I'm groggy and talking in my sleep. I try to give professional, clean shows with great sound quality, and I want y'all to know I've been working on people intros. So some of these channel holders and content creators are gonna have nice, funky intros. I've been getting requests, y'all. So that's what's been kind of keeping the show going and funding the show, that people are getting intro productions and stuff. And so 2020 is looking good. All right. She did not know what a consulate was. She somehow she think a consular and a consulate is the same thing, and she can still hold her chin up. I would be kicked. There's been times when, after the fact, I wish I would have said something differently, and I was kicking myself. I never contemplated suicide, but I do feel dumb later. But in her case, she can come back to the same people and say, hey, I was wrong. There was many times I made mistakes, but I am smart and I do read and study. It's just that sometimes I get nervous and it comes out wrong. You know, something. But anyway, on that note, I got to check out. And I'm glad that you caught a live too, Barbie Doll. I hope that the live kept it interesting and kept you fully engaged in the show, and you're welcome back anytime. Everybody's welcome back, even the people in the background, as Uncle Black would say. Thanks for coming out. And his lordship usually do shows, on this tempo, and every now and then I do a DJ mix. So thanks for coming through. But for 2020, I will be doing my own small films, live interviews, talking with people from society that have stories to tell about our history. Also, people that are in dire situations like homelessness or dealing with an illness. And real people who have been scammed. I know a guy who lost a house worth $1.5 million, and he was scammed out of his house. So I might, get his story too. But I'm not making no promises. But yes, peace and love, peace and hair grease. Rhino Evelyn for showing up and showing out. And catch me next time. And don't forget to sign up with his lordship on IG, because you know what, in the future I'm going to turn on the camera on IG so you can see me running the show in the background. You can see how I'm working OBS Studio while I'm live. You won't see my face, but you'll see the big screen and the mouse and you'll see how I'm running the software during the show. So Rhino, Donna, and everybody, thanks for coming out. Like I said, I know when to get off before I start embarrassing myself.
I'm the magnificent.
Tell them what your name is.
I'm the magnificent.
Yo, man, I don't think they heard you. Won't you tell them what your name is?